Right now, you're probably sitting down. Maybe you're slouching on your couch, or maybe you're in your car. Later today, you might drive to a building, pay $150 a month for the privilege of entering that building, put on expensive moisture-wicking clothes, and tap the Apple Watch on your wrist to make sure you're closing your rings. You step onto a rubber belt that costs $2,000. 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes, 20. The sweat starts dropping, your heart rate climbs, and then you hit stop. Workout complete. You walk out of the gym, take the elevator down to the parking garage, and sit in the driver's seat. You drive to a drive-thru, pick up dinner through your car window, get home, and immediately sit back on the couch. Your entire physical movement for the day was perfectly compressed, boxed up, and scheduled into exactly 30 minutes on that treadmill. But now, I want you to rewind the clock about 50,000 years. A prehistoric human wakes up in a cave. There is no treadmill. There is no workout schedule. There are no muscle recovery rest days, and absolutely no one is telling them today is leg day. But the second they open their eyes, the workout begins, and it almost never actually ends. So were ancient humans just naturally born shredded athletes? If you are currently watching this video while lying in bed avoiding your workout, go ahead and hit that like button because you are about to feel a lot better about yourself. We need to smash a very common myth right now. When we think of our ancestors, especially when that one guy at the gym tries to sell you on the paleo lifestyle, we picture these jacked, muscle-bound warriors sprinting dozens of miles every day to hunt down giant beasts. We think they exercised constantly. The uncomfortable truth is, they never exercised. Voluntary exercise, burning calories just for the sake of burning calories, is a completely bizarre, alien concept to the vast majority of human history. Prehistoric humans didn't work out. They worked, they traveled, they carried, they dug, they hunted, and they survived. The core difference comes down to one word: choice. In your modern American life, movement is an option. In their world, movement was a mandate. Think about this for a second. If you wanted to eat, you had to walk. If you wanted water, you had to walk to the river. If you wanted to keep your food from getting stolen by a saber-toothed cat, you had to carry it back to camp. If you wanted to survive the coming winter, you had to personally chop wood, gather it, and build a shelter with your bare hands. Our ancestors didn't evolve to exercise. We evolved to move. The absolute clearest evidence for this comes from the few remaining hunter-gatherer societies in the world today, like the Hadza people in Tanzania. Anthropologists actually went out there, strapped modern fitness trackers to them, and discovered that their physical activity levels completely crush the average modern human. But here's the catch: they're not running marathons. They're not doing CrossFit. Their activity is mostly low to moderate intensity, specifically walking. A lot of walking. Their normal day consists of countless short trips, crossing rough terrain to forage for roots, pick berries, or track animals. But if you walked up to a Hadza person and asked them if they hit their 10,000 steps today, they would look at you like you lost your mind. They don't count steps to stay healthy. They step because if they stop, they starve. By the way, drop a comment below with what your phone says your average daily step count is right now. Let's see which one of us would actually survive the Pleistocene era. My guess is most of us wouldn't make it past Tuesday. But walking is only half the story. Here's the part that the fitness industry always ignores. Walking 3 miles empty-handed with your AirPods in is one thing. Walking 3 miles while carrying a crying toddler, hauling primitive weapons, lugging a heavy bundle of firewood, and dragging the bloody leg of an animal you just killed is a completely different universe of physical effort. The incredible strength of ancient humans didn't come from pushing isolated weights on a bench press. It came from carrying things. Transporting goods, water, and children over long distances demands a perfect natural combination of endurance, core strength, and balance. The wild environment was the most brutal full-body functional workout that no personal trainer could ever design. And when it comes to hunting, you have to forget the Hollywood movies. Hunting and gathering wasn't just one epic action sequence where a guy throws a spear at a mammoth. It was a complex behavioral system. It involved slow, deliberate walking to track prey, bending over repeatedly, digging through hard-packed dirt for roots, climbing high branches for honey, and sometimes sitting perfectly still in the brush for hours waiting for the right moment. Their movement wasn't a single one-hour sweat session. It was hundreds of micro-movements accumulated constantly from sunrise to sunset. But here's where things get really interesting and where it gets deeply personal for you. Your body is perfectly engineered for this exact lifestyle. Evolution equipped humans with some insanely specific biological traits. We're not the fastest animals. A cheetah will easily outrun you. We're not the strongest. A gorilla could snap you in half, but humans are the undisputed champions of endurance. We have the greatest cooling system in the entire animal kingdom, 2 million sweat glands that let us keep moving under the scorching sun while every other predator overheats and has to stop. Your pelvis and legs are perfectly aligned for bipedal walking, maximizing energy efficiency so you can cover massive distances. Your Achilles tendon acts like a giant biological spring, storing and releasing energy with every running step. There is even a special ligament in the back of your neck, the nuchal ligament, that does nothing but keep your head stable while you run. Evolution didn't build you to be an indoor treadmill machine. It built you to be the ultimate persistence hunter, designed for a world where regular, low-intensity movement was absolutely unavoidable. And that, right there, is the root of the modern paradox you're stuck in right now. We used all of our massive human intelligence to create a world that completely removes movement from our daily lives. You drive an SUV to work. You sit in an ergonomic office chair for 8 hours. You take the elevator instead of the stairs. You open DoorDash, tap your screen a few times, and a hot meal is delivered right to your front door. You buy groceries, clothes, and furniture from the other side of the planet using Amazon Prime without ever having to stand up from your toilet. We invented thousands of incredibly smart machines just to strip physical effort out of our lives. And then, realizing what we'd done, we invented the gym to put it back. If this realization is hitting a little too close to home right now, make sure you hit subscribe. We explore uncomfortable, mind-bending truths about human nature like this every week. Think about the absurdity of a gym. You pay money to go into a climate-controlled room just to walk on a motorized rubber belt that takes you absolutely nowhere. You pick a heavy block of iron up just to put it right back down in the exact same spot. You pedal a stationary bike that is literally bolted to the floor. The modern gym is essentially a wildlife reserve for human bodies. It is a designated enclosure where we go to artificially simulate the physical movements that technology stole from our daily lives. This leads us to a much bigger problem, a phenomenon evolutionary biologists call evolutionary mismatch. Your body doesn't just care whether you swiped your gym card today, it responds to your entire environment. Our fundamental problem is that our living environment changed way too fast for our biology to keep up. Your modern American life feeds you massive amounts of hyper-processed calories with maximum convenience, while your physical body is still running a 300,000-year-old operating system. That operating system is programmed to conserve energy and store fat whenever possible, because your deep brain still thinks a brutal winter famine could hit tomorrow. You are a prehistoric survivor trapped in a world of infinite drive-thrus. The truth is, ancient life was incredibly hard, but they had one major advantage that we've lost: incidental movement. Your ancestors never had to stand in front of a mirror at 5 a.m. and wonder if they had enough motivation to work out today. Life answered that question for them. A modern human needs motivational TikToks, inspiring quotes, a pre-workout powder, and a heavy playlist just to put on their running shoes. An ancient human didn't need motivation, they just needed a hungry stomach. Now, let's go back to that gym. You're on the treadmill. The digital numbers on the screen flash 3 miles. You step off, panting, wiping your towel.
You just walked 3 miles, but physically speaking, you haven't moved a single inch through space. Meanwhile, in a different space tens of thousands of years ago, a human is walking across a vast open savanna. There is no heart rate monitor. There is no calorie counting app. There is no concept of leg day. There is just one single absolute goal: get through the day alive. Maybe the problem isn't that modern humans are lazier than our ancestors. The problem is we built a world that survival no longer requires us to take a single step. Our ancestors didn't exercise because they didn't need to invent a separate word for movement. To them, movement was simply life. If you noticed a gold coin with the face of Socrates hidden somewhere in this video, drop the timestamp in the comments. One random person who gets it right wins a $20 gift card. I'll announce the winner in the next video. Thank you for watching.